Your reign ends tonight.
Your reign ends tonight. Mama Ibeji's voice cut through the storm like a blade. Her white wrapper clung to her skin, soaked with rain and sweat. Her hands trembled, not from fear, but from the power surging through her staff. Lightning flashed, revealing the full horror. The villagers stood like statues, soaked to the bone, eyes glazed over. Men, women, even children. Their faces looked calm, but their minds were gone. Nkiru stood in the center of them all, dry as bone, untouched by the rain. Her red gown shimmered. Her makeup hadn't even smudged. She didn't blink as she stared at Mama Ibeji. "Let the girl go," Mama Ibeji warned. Nkiru turned slowly. In her grip was Ifunanya, dangling like a rag doll. Her white dress was torn. Her feet inched off the muddy earth. Her lips were blue. Her eyes fluttered weakly. "You call it beauty," Nkiru said coldly, "but I gave them purpose. They begged me to save them from their wrinkles, from their poverty, from their shame." She dropped Ifunanya. The girl gasped and hit the ground hard. "You want to save them, prophetess?" Nkiru's voice rose. "Ask them. Ask them if they want to be saved." A bit of silence. Then slowly, one of the villagers stepped forward. It was Mama Chinwe. Her face, once lined with age, was smooth now. Too smooth. Unnatural. She looked at Mama Ibeji and said with a smile, "We choose her." Mama Ibeji's heart broke, but her grip on her staff only tightened. The storm had not yet come when Ifunanya slipped away. The evening sun was melting behind the trees, casting an orange hue over Aluma as she moved fast through the bush paths behind the compound. The village felt quieter than usual, not because the people had gone silent, but because their voices were no longer real. What echoed through the streets were rehearsed praises and shallow laughter. She had tried to warn them, first her mother, then her best friend Adani, then Pastor Lutana. None of them listened. Her mother slapped her for calling Nkiru a demon. Adani stopped speaking to her. Pastor Lutana, he just smiled at her the way a man smiles at a mad woman. But Ifunanya's spirit screamed. Her dreams had become nightmares. She would wake with the image of Nkiru's voice, beautiful but hollow. Burning behind her eyes, something had to be done. So she climbed the hill barefoot to the one person the villagers still feared, even while they mocked her, Mama Ibeji, the prophetess. They called her mad. They said she lived with ghosts. They whispered that she spoke to the wind and that her prayers caused miscarriages. But Ifunanya remembered the stories from when she was little. Mama Ibeji had stopped a plague once. Years ago, she and her father, before he died, once told her, "That old woman, she sees what others cannot." Ifunanya didn't knock. The door creaked open by itself. Inside the hut, herbs hung from the ceiling. Curries lined the walls. The air smelled of bitter leaf, palm ash, and old tears. A pot boiled with no fire beneath it. Mama Ibeji sat cross-legged, her eyes white, her fingers drawing symbols on the floor. "I've been waiting," she said. Ifunanya fell to her knees. "Please, you have to help us. She's not who she says she is." Mama Ibeji opened her eyes. For a moment they flickered with gold. "You speak of Nkiru." "Nkiru," she said, "was once known by another name, Ezima, a witch banished long ago from the southern territories. She was caught sacrificing children in exchange for her beauty that will never fade. The council stripped her powers and caused her to wander without form. Then how is she here? She found a body, someone vain enough to offer it up, someone foolish enough to believe that beauty was worth anything more than breath." Ifunanya trembled. "And the water? A binding agent. Each sip places a seal on the soul. That's why they've changed. That's why they protect her. But why me?" "Because you refused. Because you remember who you are. Mama Ibeji took a red chalk and drew a circle on the floor. We must fight her, but we cannot do it alone. The next few days were preparation. Mama Ibeji took Ifunanya through rituals of cleansing, bathing her in water mixed with charcoal and sheer ash, burning dried bitter leaf in her hair, making her drink an elixir that made her vomit the dreams that had been haunting her. Your spirit must be clean, Mama Ibeji said, or she will see you before you get close. They fasted for 3 days. On the third night, they went to the river bank, where the full moon cast a silver path across the water. Mama Ibeji told Ifunanya, we will not confront her where her power is the strongest, in front of the people she has bound. If they see her true face, their chains will break. Ifunanya nodded, even as her knees shook. They waited until the village gathered in the square, called by Nkiru for a celebration of beauty. Everyone came. Even the children wore silk robes. Nkiru stood at the center, glowing in gold gown, her skin impossibly smooth. Her voice rang like music. And then Mama Ibeji stepped out of the shadows. Ezima, she shouted. The villagers gasped. Some laughed. Some stepped back. Nkiru smiled. Still alive, I see. I should have burned you when I had a chance. You still can't, Mama Ibeji said, but the light is still watching me. She raised her staff and thunder cracked. The ground shook. The bottle in Nkiru's hand shattered. Blue liquid hissed to the depths. Underneath was nothing but bones wrapped in illusion. Her chest was hollow. Her heart was made of glass. Ifunanya stepped forward. I see you now. She threw a charm Mama Ibeji had given her into the air. It exploded in a burst of white flame. Nkiru fell to her knees. The villagers dropped one by one, collapsing like dolls, then waking up, crying, confused. And just as lightning struck the shrine tree behind them, Nkiru let out one of the last screams and vanished into ash. Silence followed, then sobbing, then prayers, then peace. For 3 days, Aluma lay still. We break it, Mama Ibeji pointed at the sky. We must sever what binds her to this land. The villagers must reject what they accepted. They moved door to door, warning people. Gathering the bottles of miracle water, some villagers refused to give them up. Some still clung to her beauty over truth. And then the nightmares returned. Mama Chinwe collapsed in the market, screaming that her skin was peeling, though it wasn't. Children began to draw Nkiru's face in the sand without knowing why. And finally, Adani, Ifunanya's childhood friend, was found wandering naked in the bush, speaking in tongues. The village agreed. A cleansing ritual was called. On the 7th night, they gathered at the river bank. Every bottle of miracle water was brought and poured into a burning calabash. Mama Ibeji led the chant. The flames roared with unnatural heat. The river steamed. The trees shook. Suddenly, a scream echoed from the hills. Her body floated above the river, arms stretched, eyes completely black. You thought you could end me? The voice hissed, though the lips barely moved. You burned my body, but my contact lives in them. Mama Ibeji raised her staff. You shall not return. But Ezima laughed. You broke the surface, not the roots. Then Ifunanya stepped forward. She held up the very first bottle ever given out. I kept it, she said. She uncorked it. I never drank it, but tonight, I return it. She poured it over her head. The liquid hissed. Her skin glowed, then turned pale. She screamed, but not in pain, in release. Lies burst from her chest, hitting Adani square in the heart. Ezima screamed, her final scream, one that split trees and cracked the river stones. Adani dropped. And Ifunanya, she never married, but she became a healer, a teacher, and a voice. The villagers now whisper her name with reverence. But in time when everyone chased beauty, she chose truth. And truth saved them all. Envy makes us drink from poisoned wells. Be careful what you thirst for. If this story inspired you, please help us grow this channel by sharing this video, giving it a thumbs up, and leaving a comment below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so more people can discover powerful stories like this one. Thank you.